All right, let's get right into it. When it comes to crypto, you've got two main choices. Do you stick with a centralized platform or do you dive headfirst into the decentralized world? This is a huge question, maybe the biggest question in finance right now, CeFi versus DeFi. And trust me, by the time we're done here, you're going to have a way better idea of which path is the right one for you. When you peel back all the layers, it really comes down to this one simple but profound question. Do you want a bank or do you want to be your own bank? It's about whether you'd rather have a company you know and trust handle things, or if you're someone who wants total, absolute control over your own money. And that's not just about tech, right? It's a whole philosophy. So let's picture this as a fork in the road. You're on this crypto journey, and you've got two very, very different paths ahead of you. Okay, before we go any further, let's map out the territory. We need to get a really solid handle on what these two models actually are. All right, first up, let's talk about centralized finance, or what everyone calls CeFi. Now, this is the one you're probably already familiar with, even if you don't realize it. Think about the big names, like Coinbase or Gemini. They're basically the crypto version of a traditional bank. They act as that trusted middleman, they hold on to your crypto for you, they help you turn your regular money, like US dollars, into crypto, and they give you a platform to buy and sell. DeFi, on the other hand, well, it completely flips that model on its head. It just throws the whole middleman idea out the window. There's no company in the middle, none. The entire system runs on automated code, these things called smart contracts that live right on the blockchain. What this means is you can do everything, lend, borrow, trade, directly with another person. It's totally peer-to-peer. And the most important part, you are always in control. So if you put them side by side, you can really see the two different worlds. On one hand, you've got CeFi, which is basically the bank model. It's familiar, it's regulated, and hey, there's even a customer support number you can call if you get stuck. Then you've got DeFi, the code model. It's wide open, permissionless, completely controlled by you, the user, and it's all run automatically by that code we just talked about. But here's the thing, neither one of these is perfect. And that brings us to the really juicy part, the great trade-offs. We're talking about control, convenience, and of course, risk, because every single choice here comes with a price. Okay, so the number one selling point for CeFi, without a doubt, is convenience. I mean, the whole thing is designed to be super user-friendly. We're talking easy on-ramps, using your debit card or wire transfer to buy crypto. There are actual customer support teams to help you out if things go sideways. And the apps, they usually look and feel a lot like the online banking app you already use. Plus, they make it really easy to trade stuff from different blockchains all in one spot. Now, DeFi, it runs on a totally different principle, and it's summed up perfectly by probably the most famous saying in all of crypto, not your keys, not your coins. What that means is, in the DeFi world, you, and only you, hold the private keys to your digital wallet. That gives you ultimate sovereign control. No company, no government, nobody can freeze your account or stop you from moving your assets. It's all you. But look, control and convenience don't mean a thing if your money isn't safe, right? And it's so important to get this. No system is 100% foolproof. I mean, check out this quote from Packet Labs. It's a real eye-opener. It says that traditional financial institutions, the old school banks, are the second most impacted sector when it comes to cybercrime. So risk, it's literally everywhere. So what's the big danger with CeFi then? Well, it's that classic all your eggs in one basket problem. These huge exchanges, hackers call them honeypots. Why? Because they're holding billions and billions of dollars of other people's money. That makes them a massive target, a giant single point of failure. If a hacker gets in, it can be absolutely catastrophic. And just to give you an idea, in 2023 alone, the financial services industry was the fourth most targeted sector out there. But the DeFi world has its own unique set of monsters hiding in the shadows. And one of the most infamous is the rug pull. It's a nasty, brutal scam, and here's how it works. First, some developers create a new crypto token and get it listed on a decentralized exchange. Then they hit social media hard, paying influencers, creating insane amounts of hype to pump up the price. Then you and other investors see the hype and start buying in, adding real valuable money to the pot. And then, poof, the developers suddenly pull all that valuable currency out, the price crashes to zero, and they disappear with the money, leaving everyone else holding a completely worthless token. And the amount of money at stake in some of these DeFi attacks, it's just mind-boggling. Take a look at this number, $620 million. That's how much was stolen in a single hack from the Axie Infinity project. And this shows a whole different kind of risk in DeFi. This wasn't a simple rug pull scam. This was a highly sophisticated attack on the project's core code, and it was carried out by a state-sponsored hacking group. The stakes are incredibly high. Okay, all this talk about risk leads us straight to our next topic, the rules of the road. Or in the case of DeFi, the lack of rules. It really is the rulebook versus the Wild West. So on the CeFi side of things, platforms have to play by a very strict rulebook. If they want to operate legally, they have to jump through a ton of regulatory hoops. We're talking about Know Your Customer or KYC checks, which is why you have to upload your ID. They're constantly doing anti-money laundering monitoring. In the US, they have to register as a money services business. In Europe, they have to get authorized under the new MiCA rules. The bottom line is they are absolutely under the thumb of government oversight. The DeFi frontier, yeah, that's pretty much still the Wild West. For the most part, it just doesn't have those traditional anti-money laundering controls. Your transactions aren't anonymous, but they are pseudo-anonymous, meaning they're tied to your digital wallet address, not your real name. Now, a lot of projects try to use this decentralized structure to kind of fly under the radar of regulators, but the regulators are starting to catch on. We're seeing more and more enforcement actions against these decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs. All right. We have covered a ton of ground here. We've talked convenience, control, risk, regulation, the whole shebang. So now it's time to bring it all together and ask the big question, which path is yours? Because ultimately, this is all about matching one of these models to your own personal goals and, maybe most importantly, your appetite for risk. So let's just break it all down one last time at a glance. When you look at custody, who holds your money? It's the company in CeFi versus you yourself in DeFi. For ease of use, CeFi is built to be easy, like a banking app, while DeFi, well, it definitely has a steeper learning curve. When we talk security, the big risks are different. It's exchange hacks for CeFi versus smart contract bugs and scams in DeFi. And finally, regulation. It's a clear-cut difference. You've got regulated on one side and mostly unregulated on the other. Okay, so here it is, the big takeaway. If you remember literally just one thing from all of this, let it be this. The entire choice comes down to one core trade-off. CeFi offers you simplicity and the safety net of regulation. DeFi, on the other hand, offers you absolute control and access to some of the most cutting-edge, permissionless innovation happening anywhere in the world. And that leaves us with one final massive question to think about. Is the future of finance going to be a guarded, paved highway or a wide-open, untamed frontier? We'd love to know which path you're choosing. Are you Team CeFi or Team DeFi? Drop your vote down in the comments below. And hey, make sure to like and subscribe because we're going to keep breaking down all the biggest ideas shaping our world. Thanks for tuning in.